In a bustling city filled with lights and movement, lived Emily, a 26-year-old woman who felt increasingly lost in the rush. Her days were a never-ending repetition, waking up, facing the chaotic traffic, spending hours in an office where she didn't feel valued, and returning home exhausted. Life had become a monotonous cycle, and joy seemed like a distant memory. Emily showed no interest in anything. Her passions had vanished, and the colors of the world had turned to a dull gray. She felt apathetic, as if she were merely existing, not living. Sadness was her constant companion, and anxiety followed her like a shadow. The little things that once made her smile, like a warm cup of coffee or a favorite song, no longer had any effect. Every day was a struggle to get out of bed, and the simple act of preparing for work felt like an unbearable burden. Emily felt trapped in a dark maze, with no way out. One day, while waiting for the bus, Emily met Theo, an art student who was sitting on a bench, drawing the frenetic movement of the city. Curious, but still immersed in her own sadness, she approached him and asked what he was creating. Theo looked up and smiled, his features conveying a passion that Emily hadn't felt in a long time. He began to talk about how art helped him express his feelings and find beauty even in difficult days. Noticing the sadness in Emily's eyes, Theo opened up about his own battle with anxiety and depression. He shared how, in a moment of despair, he decided to seek help. Therapy and art became his anchors, allowing him to confront his inner demons. He encouraged her not to be afraid to ask for help and to explore her emotions. "You don't have to go through this alone," he said sincerely. Theo's touch and his supportive words were like a light in the darkness for Emily. For the first time in a long time, she felt that there was someone who understood her. He offered his friendship and was willing to help her rediscover joy. Emily hesitated, but Theo's empathy and understanding encouraged her to give this new friendship a chance. Theo invited her to try painting, and even though she was afraid of not being good enough, Emily decided to give it a shot. She bought some paints and a brush and began to paint at home. At first, the colors seemed confusing, but with each brushstroke, a small part of her pain began to dissipate. Painting became a relief, a way to express what she had kept bottled inside. With Theo's constant support, Emily began to make significant changes in her life. She sought out a therapist and started to talk about her feelings. Initially, it was hard to open up, but the therapist helped her understand that her emotions were valid and that healing was a process. Breathing techniques and mindfulness became tools that helped her cope with anxiety in her daily life. At work, Emily decided to be more assertive. With Theo's encouragement, she began to express herself and seek projects that interested her more. When she asked for a raise, her boss listened to her, and that small victory encouraged her even more. Finally, Emily decided to participate in a local craft fair, where she could display her simple yet emotion-filled paintings. She was nervous, but when she saw people admiring her works, she felt a wave of happiness. It was the first time she felt seen and appreciated, and it made her heart race. And so, with her eyes shining with hope, Emily began to realize that even amidst struggles, there was room for joy. Her journey was not completely free of difficulties, but she had found a new purpose and a true friend by her side. Walking through the city, side by side with Theo, Emily smiled, feeling that she was finally on the right path to happiness. Life was starting to color itself again. As they walked, Theo, noticing the sparkle in Emily's eyes, stopped and looked at her with a gentle smile. "You look amazing, you know," he said, with a sincerity that made her heart race. Emily returned his gaze, and for a moment, the world around them faded away. "Thank you, Theo. I don't know what I would do without you." He took a step closer, the connection between them strengthening. "I will always be here for you, Emily. And who knows, maybe we can do this together," he said, gesturing to her paintings. The warmth of that conversation enveloped them, and Emily felt a wave of emotion. It was more than friendship, it was something that was beginning to blossom. In that moment, as the gentle breeze of the city caressed their faces, Emily realized that she had found not just a friend, but someone who encouraged her to dream again. And with a shy smile, she allowed herself to dream of the future. That friendship had become an even deeper and more special feeling, and their hearts, once so lonely, now beat in harmony, ready to explore what tomorrow might bring. If you enjoyed the story, please like and subscribe.